Now, number 14 uses the exact same graph as number 13, and it's still about just following instructions, but there's a little bit more math involved this time. We're going to actually need to start doing some arithmetic. So let's just break it down piece by piece. The question itself says, of the following, which is closest to the ratio of the total number of insects in all 3 colonies in week 8 to the total number of insects at the time of the initial treatment? So that's just 2 numbers, right? The total means we got to add those things up. So let's zoom in here on week 8 and get a number so that we can actually follow this instruction. So if we zoom in here, week 8, we're trying to figure out the total number of all of these columns added together. So we're going to have to estimate a little bit, but that's okay. If we estimate off slightly, it shouldn't make a difference. The number is going to be a trend, so these answer choices aren't going to be super close together. That if we make a small estimating error, it won't affect our answer. If we make a big estimating error, maybe. But let's just trust the question a little bit here. So for the gray bar, colony A, that looks like it's, I don't know, close to 20. So let's just say that's 19. And then the speckled bar for 8 is probably around 10. It looks like it's about halfway through, so plus 10. And then colony C, the big gray bar, is halfway between 40 and 60. So let's say that that is 50. So that makes my math really easy, but you know what? We have the calculator. Let's just do it. 19 plus 10 plus 50 is 79. So that is this magic number. The total number of insects in all 3 colonies in week 8 is 79. Now let's, in green, do the same thing for the initial point, which is 0 right here. So it's obvious that A is right on the 80 mark, so that's 80. And then the speckled one is going to be a little bit above 60, so let's just say 62. And then the dark gray bar is a little bit below 60, so let's say 58. And again, easy enough to use our calculator. 80 plus 62 plus 58 is 200. Okay, it's a nice solid number. So if that is the initial, think about what they're telling us to do. They want us to make a ratio, and a ratio is basically a division problem. So really what we're looking at is 79 divided by 200. And a division problem, again, if I have a calculator, it's easy to do. 79 divided by 200 is 0.395. But that's not an answer. So how do I figure out which of these answers matches up with my decimal? Well, the thing with ratios is that they're supposed to be consistent, right? So for example, in choice A, 2 to 5 is the same exact thing as 4 to 10. Try it in your calculator, right? 2 divided by 5 and 4 divided by 10 give you the exact same thing. And we can just do it in the calculator. It's 0.4. So what we're really going to do here is we're going to convert these ratios into decimals, because that's the easiest way to compare them. We could set them up as fractions and do all sorts of stuff with that, but you've got a calculator. Just take the easy path here and turn them into decimals so we can literally see which ones are equivalent. So that's pretty close to 0.395. I would feel pretty good about that, but I'm going to be thorough and try all the other choices because maybe by unluckiness, something else is close as well. So we should hopefully know 1 to 4 in our heads, but it's 0.25. And 3 to 5. Oof, whiteboard's all over the place. 3 to 5. Also, hopefully, we can do that pretty easily. 0.6. And then 1 to 2 is 0.5. So which one is closest to 0.395? The only one that's really close is A. And that is the answer. So this is an important thing to remember. When we're dealing with ratios, we can convert them into decimals pretty easily with our calculator. So my advice is to do that. Anytime a question is talking about ratios and asks you to compare them, you can usually turn them into decimals, and that way your brain has a much easier time of seeing that the ratios are the same. If you've got the calculator, feel free to use it. That's totally fine. But most of this question was just taking numbers from a graph and turning them into fractions, and then turning the fractions into decimals. A lot of math, but we're really just following instructions here. So don't get intimidated by questions that seem like they're asking a lot of you. It might actually be easier than you think.